Hello, my name's Evan, and this is my 2024 Sportspal 12-foot pointed canoe update, I guess, with all my fishing gear and other stuff I got for the canoe over the winter. You can see my other videos, me restoring this canoe last year, and I had about like half of a season with it. This is my second season with it. It'll be a full season, so I'm excited. I updated a bunch of stuff, a new lithium battery with the power box, new seat, and a couple other things that you'll see in this video. So I'm just gonna put it together, and you're gonna watch me put it together and talk about stuff that I bought, if that's what you're into. I mean, if you like watching lame dads in their garage at night make videos about their canoe. I bought the Woods chair this year. I took this out already once. The chair was comfortable when I used it, but kind of gets in the way when you're doing the motor. If you're trolling there, but it's very comfortable. Next, I have this mortar tub that I got at a thrift store last year, and it's just like a nice thing I can store stuff in it. I can drag it up to me if I need to while I'm in the canoe, and it helps me carry everything to and from the car too. So actually this year with the new battery, that can fit in there. So here's the lithium battery. It's a Power Queen 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium battery in the power box. That's got a couple fancy things I got at the CanCast fishing show this year. So it just sits up front. I got some 8 gauge car battery things and spliced it and made it long enough. The cable's long enough for the trolling motor. In the tray, I'll carry like my anchor, the motor mount, which was the original mount. I just made it a little bit more prettier, spruced it up, and it goes on with these wing nuts and bolts on the back there. That just sits in there. So I got one of these guys and I put it on the back seat here. That's great for tying off the anchor that keeps on the seat. I also got this it's like a 1/4 inch piece of plywood, old car mat, zip tied it. It's for my feet, kind of protects the foam. That's not new, I had that last year too. But I'm happy with it, so I keep it. Let's put the motor mount on. Not gonna lie, that's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's got to be secure. So a lot of the new stuff I got were some clamps that just make life easier. I use the Deeper Pro Plus. I use the Deeper Pro Plus fish finder, which goes to your phone or iPad, which is what I've used here. And instead of buying the $80 arm for the canoe, I just put a steel leader on it, onto a simple clamp, and it just clamps on the back there and drags in the water. So I got this iPad holder. It's got the bar clamp on it, which I'll show you what that looks like. Right here. The next clamp I have is actually from a water bottle holder from the dollar store. Had some bar clamps, which I couldn't find these for anywhere cheaper, so I bought a whole bunch of them and made some fishing rod holders and whatnot. But I also used, out of my Radio Shack GoPro kit, it had a phone thing. I just drilled a hole through it and screwed it onto the bar clamp, so that holds my phone. And another thing I bought at the fishing show was a ramrod rod holder, but it just had the base ball mount to it, and I wanted this. Before I saw the dollar store ones, I bought this off Amazon for, I think it was like 30 bucks. It was actually a smaller ball, so I had to spin one of the arms around and kind of make it work, but it's very tight and it holds on and makes for a good rod holder. This basket just has a bunch of umbrella, flashlight, speaker, whatever I'm bringing that day, whatever the weather's going to be like. that stuff in here. This basket actually fits behind the seat because last year I had it sitting up in the middle and I realized the rods kept getting in the way I was holding. I got these rod holders. So the rod holders are still going vertical, but they're behind me so they're not in the way. Like that. Fishing net. Like so. Fish finder. If I have a passenger this year, I'll use one of my dollar store rod holders. That was for my water bottle. And just drilled a hole, drilled another hole, screwed it in, cut this piece out, and your rod either go on the side or go in the bar as well. Life jacket. Seat. I'm actually not going to put the motor on because these are the cheap Mastercraft saw horses and they fall apart. This canoe's already fallen down, so I'm not going to put any extra weight on it. But you don't need the motor on it, right? You know what a motor would look like there? It's a 30-pound thrust Minn Kota, and I used it, patrolled for about 4 hours last week, and I had the motor on like I want to say 80% of the time, and the battery was still reading like a 13.6 voltmeter on the voltmeter on the power box. So it started at like 13.8. So I think it's pretty good. I think it'll last me a weekend. I can't wait to test it out camping. And so I got space for my tackle box down here or even in the tray. I can reach it all. I've got a drink holder over here, although I think I might want to put it on the bar. I'm not sure. My phone there, rod there, rod storage back here. Again, with this, it's really comfortable, but when I gotta find a way to push it to the side more. But I can't if I want to get this in anyway, because you're kind of turning the whole time with the motor. Although it does have the extender on it, so it's not that bad, but here's how I store it this year too. Forgot to show the paddle clips on the side of the canoe, which is super handy. And I just made this canoe cart out of old bike tires I had and scrap wood, and actually scrap foam from putting new foam in the canoe last year. I just had to buy the axle and some extra bolts, and it's gonna sit near the end, and then I'll put a strap through here that'll go up and around the canoe. I think it'll work just for trucking things from the car to the shore pretty much, so I can load up at the car. I don't have to make trips back and forth from the canoe to the car when it's already in the water. Anyway, stay tuned. Maybe I'll give you an update if that guy works. All right, let's go for a rip. Fucking bugs. Yeah, I have this fish finder up here. This is my phone. That is supposed to be set up. Not bad. No fish, but not bad. Nothing went wrong.